Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. We are live. I'm going to verify. Thanks for joining. My name is Tim. How are y'all doing today? Hopefully, you can hear me and see me. Hello, hello. You can hear me and you can see me. I just verified that. So, happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to another Villages live stream. Lots to talk about. Just when I thought it was getting boring in the villages, lots of things happening on the villages map. I wanted to cover a correction to a correction, and let's cover that first. Correction to the correction. Let's look at the villages map. And I did receive confirmation of the mystery neighborhood in LaGrange. And we're going to finally put this mystery neighborhood to bed. This is the mystery neighborhood right here. Village of LaGrange, retention pond view, the bond amount 41,000 and some change. That means it's either a cottage home neighborhood or possibly a veranda home neighborhood. So, one of my subscribers, thank you for verifying. Verify that this neighborhood is going to be cottage homes. It might be cottage villas, but it is not veranda homes. And if it is cottage homes, which it has been verified, it's cottage homes, this would be one of the most unique cottage home neighborhoods in the villages, not only in the southern part of the villages, but in the villages. I think the villages are starting to change and tweak the design of their neighborhoods. I see changes in the southern part of the villages. What do we have here? Hello, cruising with the O's from Tennessee, Village Bone at the end of the month. Congratulations. Cruising with the Olds, brand new Villages homeowner. So we are going to talk about this. This is now confirmed to be a cottage home neighborhood. I think it's the first of its kind where you're going to have cottage homes with retention pond views. So if anybody is interested in cottage homes, I think this is going to be one of the best neighborhoods you can buy into, no matter what type of home. Even if these were veranda homes, this would be an awesome neighborhood. I'm still flabbergasted by the fact that the Villages is putting cottage homes in this neighborhood with retention pond views. I thought it might be veranda homes. I originally thought it was cottage homes, and then I changed my mind, thought it was verandas. And now one of my subscribers, boots on the ground, thank you, confirmed that these are cottage homes. Yet to be determined if they're going to have walls around them, privacy walls that would make them a cottage villa. So we're not sure. But it is interesting. They seem to be changing the neighborhood designs a little bit in the south. And the other area I want to talk about is Lakeview. This patch in Lakeview, somewhat of a mystery. We know that this green patch here is Courtyard Villas. That's based on the Vans map right here. We know they're Courtyard Villas in the upper portion of the screen. And I think we deducted, let's see where we are on the Vans map right here. We got to be right here. So right here. So we know, if we zoom out, that these is unit number 198. And if you look at the bond for unit 198, 198, 198, You got the Sia Villas, 198, 33,502. Generally speaking, that is going to be a Courtyard Villa neighborhood. So I think this is Courtyard Villas. Let's just verify that. That bond seems really small for Courtyard Villas, though, doesn't it? That bond looks really small. The more I look at the map, the more confused I get. So here is Courtyard Villas in unit number 171. Let's look at unit 171. Landon Villas. 38,000. So even this bond amount seems a little low for Courtyard Villas. 33,000, that's kind of a strange bond amount. It's too low for Courtyard Villa. It's too high for Patio Villa. Are they patio villas? Patio villas normally are in the 28,000, 29,000 range. So Lakeview, I'm starting to get more confused the more I look at it. I originally thought this patch was going to be patio villas, but one of my subscribers said that there are walls around it. And generally speaking, the Villages doesn't put walls around patio villa neighborhoods. I'm looking at this green patch, and it has a $33,000 bond, which really doesn't fit any series of homes. So they're either going to be really high bonds for patio villas, or they're going to be low bonds for Courtyard Villas. Maybe they are going to be patio villas. This neighborhood I thought might be veranda homes, and one of my subscribers agreed. And one of my subscribers thought this could be Courtyard Villas in the middle of this designer home neighborhood. So it's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell based on the bond amounts, because the bonds seem to be changing in the south. I just showed you a veranda home neighborhood that had a low bond in Edenfield, these right here. Edenfield Verandas North, they only have a $41,000 bond. Normally verandas have $44,000 to $47,000 bonds. So if you use the logic that the bonds are a little lower in some of these new neighborhoods, that logic would lead me to believe that this is Courtyard Villas, and these two green patches are unidentified, but I think these are going to be veranda homes because they have view lots, view sites. Typically veranda homes will go there. And then what could this be with walls around it? It could be a new design for a patio villa neighborhood. It could be Courtyard Villas. No, check that. It could be cottage villas. If this is courtyard, this area, and this is veranda, this area has to be either patio villas or cottage homes. That's my opinion. And if there's a wall all the way around it, it could be the very first patio villa neighborhood with walls, which would not surprise me because the Villages is having a hard time selling these designer homes in Shady Brook around this patio villa neighborhood. They had a hard time selling them because designer homes did not want to look at a patio villa. So is it possible, see there's the patio villas in the home. So is it possible that Lakeview could have the very first patio villa neighborhood fully surrounded by privacy walls? That's the question of the day. The Villages seems to be more sensitive putting walls up, especially in the southern part of the Villages. They really started putting walls in neighborhoods here in Oak Hollow. And I think they're continuing the tradition of putting walls in here in Edenfield. So when I looked at this home in Edenfield, first thing I saw was a wall, and the villages put that wall in, and these are patio villas. And I found it strange that the villages put a wall in, even though the patio villas did not have a lanai in the back. Generally speaking, the villages would not have put this wall in the past. But in Edenfield, they did. So I'm starting to see a pattern of the villages putting more walls in, even where historically they haven't put walls in. That's why I think they are starting to change some of the designs of their neighborhoods. So if we assume this area in Lakeview are courtyard villas, this area veranda homes, this area in the middle of the designer homes, my opinion, are either patio villas or cottage homes. If they're cottage homes, they're most likely going to be cottage villas with privacy walls, because you already have the wall in. One of my subscribers said there is a wall around the entire perimeter. Or it could be the very first patio villa neighborhood entirely surrounded by walls. Let me know in your comments what you think. That is what I wanted to get off my chest initially. So the initial comment is this neighborhood is going to be cottage homes or cottage villas in LaGrange. If we do know they're cottage homes because one of my subscribers looked, that would mean this is the very first that I know of cottage home neighborhood with view lots, retention pond view. That is a change in neighborhood design. Are they continuing the change of neighborhood designs in Lakeview? This green area here, is it going to be patio villas with a wall around, or is it going to be cottage homes or cottage villas? You are seeing changes in the South. Let me know in the comments. Hello, Becky. You're on time. Thank you for joining, Becky. No tardy, no demerit points for you. Hello, J-Lo. Good evening. Garden and cottage villas? Are you saying that they mixed garden villas and cottage, or you mean garden homes and courtyard villas? Because a garden home is considered a courtyard villa. I don't think they would put garden homes with cottage homes. I think they'd put them with courtyard villas, though. Let me know. That would be a really weird design change. That is actually, even if it's garden homes mixed in with courtyard villas, that's still a neighborhood design change. How can I be late when I'm given a window of time? It's cottage homes and garden homes? Or is it cottage home, or is it garden homes and courtyard villas? Really? That would be odd. I would have to see that to believe that. I would have to see garden homes mixed with cottage homes to actually believe it. So what you're saying is the villages in this green patch here, they're mixing garden homes and cottage homes in Edenfield? Or are they mixing garden homes and courtyard villas? I thought this was courtyard villas. And I thought they were mixing courtyard villas and garden homes, which is essentially a courtyard villa. Yeah, find a link to the video. I will look at it. That would be a massive change in design. If they're mixing garden villas and cottage villas together, that would be that's a big change in neighborhood design. Very interesting. But I appreciate you doing some investigative work. So I think at the end of the day, big changes in neighborhood designs in the southern part of the villages. You don't know what they're going to build and where they're going to build it anymore. Very interesting. But I do know they are putting more walls in, and they're putting more walls in because they just don't want homes sitting on the market for this long. Look at all these homes in Shady Brook. Look at this. Look at this designer home sitting on the market forever. And if you look at the backyard, no wall, and you have a kissing lanai. And the villages does not want that anymore. They want to sell these homes. And if they have to put a $200 plastic wall in, they're going to do that to sell this home. And I think it's a smart thing to do. I don't know why it took them so long to do it. So you have a lot of designer homes, especially in this area, this neighborhood. People are not buying them. They want walls. Here, look at this. 2 lanais. You can watch 2 of your neighbors sit in their lanai and smoke their cigars. And these are super close together. And this home has been discounted probably more than once. Nobody wants to buy this home because of the close proximity to your neighbor. So the Villages is trying to avoid this scenario, and they're putting walls in. They're redesigning neighborhoods to make them more attractive, more appealing, more private. So there you have Lakeview. It'll be interesting to see what these homes are going to be. Thanks for joining. My name is Tim. So the changes are coming, and I think the changes are for the better in terms of neighborhood design. You're going to see a lot more privacy walls coming. So for those new that just joined, I did make a correction to my video yesterday. This is the village of LaGrange right here. This neighborhood has now been confirmed to be cottage homes. First of its kind that I know of, cottage homes with retention pond view. And that started the conversation. Is the Villages starting to change the design of their neighborhoods? And then Cruising with the Olds just told me that this neighborhood in Edenfield is a commingling of cottage homes and garden homes, cottage villas and garden homes, that's never happened before, where the Villages commingled 2 different types of series of homes into one neighborhood. So if that's the truth, the logic is changing, the neighborhood designs are changing. Should be interesting. I guess I have to learn all this stuff over again. Now it's virtually impossible to tell what these neighborhoods are going to be based on the bond amounts. So that is the village of Lakeview. And this green patch has a bond of $33,000, which is kind of a strange bond amount. It used to be a bond amount of Courtyard Villas. So I thought this might be Courtyard Villas. This neighborhood has no bond, retention pond view. I thought they might be veranda homes. This neighborhood in the middle of designer homes, I thought might be patio villas, because historically, that's what the Villages did. They put patio villas in the between designer homes. And just like this in Shady Brook, there is all these patio villas right in the middle of designer homes. But my subscriber said that there's a wall around the entire perimeter. So this would be the very first of its kind patio villa neighborhood with a wall around the perimeter. And they're trying to minimize homes on the market like this one that backs up to patio villas. They're trying to minimize having these homes sit around without a wall. So maybe that's what they're going to do from now on, is put patio villas in between or in the middle, and they're going to put a wall around them and make those designer homes more attractive to sell. It would make a lot of sense to me that they would do that. What do you think? It's also off of Shackelford. Well, there are Shackelford. Where's Shackelford? Well, these are cottage homes. I'm not sure where a Shackelford is. Shackelford. You talking Edenfield? What are you talking about? Edenfield Run, Leinhart. Shackelford. I'm not sure where that Shackelford is. Claudia Trail. Schneller. Let's see. Shackelford Trail. Let's try this one. Not sure where that is. Let's hopefully see if it pops up on the map. Oh, this neighborhood. Yeah. I thought these are going to be patio villas. Jefferson Villas. In the north, you have Jefferson Villas. In the south, you have Stacy Villas. And the bottom out looks like they're going to be patio villas. So you're saying this. So if you look at these, you can see the picture. These are patio villas. That's the neighborhood you're talking about. Right there, those are patio villas. Those are not cottage homes. At least I think they're patio villas. They look like patio villas to me. Wow. So this designer home is backing up to that neighborhood, and it looks to me like patio villas. They put way too many pictures in here. Looks like patio villas to me, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, they are close. But if you're looking at this neighborhood here, at least this home here is backing up. To me, it looks like patio villas. So here's a home on the opposite side of that neighborhood. And if you look in the back, those are patio villas. To me, it's a patio villa neighborhood. Those are definitely patio villas. So at least in the southern part, they're called the Stacy Villas, according to the Vans map. These are called Stacy Villas. It's unit 154. When you look at unit 154, you're looking at the Stacy Villas, you're looking at the bond amount. You have a $28,000 bond. That's a patio villa. So that's a patio villa neighborhood for sure. So now at least the southern portion, and then the northern portion is unit 153. So if you look at unit 153 bond, they're called the Jefferson Villas. $27,000 bond. That's a patio villa bond. Are you saying they're commingling patio villas with garden villas? I guess I'm confused. So this is the $27,000 bond of the Jefferson Villas. That's unit 153. That's the northern portion. Those are patio villas too, based on the bond. So you're going to have two patio villa neighborhoods. Jefferson Villas in the north, Stacy Villas in the south. We've already confirmed that the Stacy Villas are patio villas. This home here does not have pictures, so we can't really see what the Jefferson Villas are. But based on the bonds, you're going to have two patio villa neighborhoods here. That's what I see. You sent me the link. Let's see. Sam Propane. He's my boots on the ground guy. So let's go to an email that Cruising with the Opals sent me. Did you email it to me? I don't see an email. I do not see the email on my phone. Maybe it's in a different. Oh, there. Okay, I got it. Let's see. I'm looking at the video. Cruising with Deals.
If you don't have money for home projects, you have to watch this.
I have to watch the stupid ad first.
Replacement relief service.
Skip. Oh, retiring to the villages. This is a 1 month old. We're doing some detective work.
We're back on Edenfield Run and Alex Avenue.
He's on Edenfield Run on Alex Avenue. That's a Courtyard Villa neighborhood. He's on Edenfield Run and something else. So he is Edenfield Run and I think he's over here. He's over here in this neighborhood, at least the first part of the video. Yeah, those are Courtyard Villas. And those are garden villas right there. So they're commingling Courtyard Villas and garden villas. And that's one of my subscribers told me that in this area, it's going to be a commingling of garden villas and courtyard villas right here. And that's where this guy's video is. He's here. And then in this area here, based on the pictures of these designer homes, we can see the backyard. We can see that these are patio villas here. And if you look at this neighborhood, and we know they're patio villas based on the bond amount and pictures, and if you look at this neighborhood here in Lakeview, they almost look identical. That's why I think these are going to be patio villas in Lakeview. But one of my subscribers said that there's a wall that goes all the way around the patio villas, and that's the first I've heard the Villages designing a neighborhood, patio villa neighborhood, with a wall around the entire perimeter. So if this is patio villas, and based on how it looks and the design, I think that's what they're going to be. And if my subscriber is correct saying that there's a wall all the way around it, that would be the very first patio villa neighborhood with a wall around the entire perimeter. But I think it's a good idea because they're going to be able to sell these designer homes that are adjacent to the patio villas much faster, much easier. If there's a wall around them, they'll sell them a lot faster. But thank you for sending me the email. Yeah, that video, he is in this corner right up here. And those are courtyard villas commingled with garden villas. And a garden villa, if you go back to the Isabella Garden Villas, a garden villa is marketed as a courtyard villa. So it makes sense that garden villas and courtyard villas would be commingled in one neighborhood. These were marketed originally as luxury courtyard villas, and they call them a garden villa. And these are in the Isabella Garden Villas. And I still like these homes. I do like the Isabella Garden Villa, but they're considered a luxury courtyard villa. So, and you're going to find some of those types of homes way over here in Edenfield, in this green patch right there. You're going to see some of those garden villas commingled with courtyard villas. So I think you can see that the Villages is starting to change the design of their neighborhoods. They're starting to tweak them a little bit. And we do have confirmation from boots on the ground that this is cottage homes, and that's going to be the first and unique cottage home neighborhood that has retention pond views. I'm still surprised that they're putting cottage homes in here. To me, it would make sense they would put veranda homes. They can make more profit by putting a veranda home in there. That's what I think, but maybe not. Maybe based on the layout and the size of the area, maybe it makes more sense to put cottage homes in there. Anyway, yeah, Frank is a good guy. Alex Avenue, I think. Alex Avenue. Alex Avenue is not even on the map. I think Alex Avenue takes Edenfield and it goes into the neighborhood. And it's not even on the map yet, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So this is the neighborhood that he's in on the map. Anyway. But thanks for showing it around. I sent you, yeah. So there are changes on the horizon, everyone. I still think that this, man, if you're looking for a cottage home, I'd be rolling up to the bank right now and getting my loan prepared to buy a cottage home right here. I think that's going to be an awesome neighborhood. Somebody told me that this green patch is going to be courtyard villas. So there's no courtyard villas in LaGrange as of now, not that I know of. And there's cottage homes There's patio villas, there's designer homes, there are going to be veranda homes in LaGrange, but there is no courtyard villa neighborhood in LaGrange. Somebody told me that this is going to be courtyard villas right here. And that would be a really desirable neighborhood. I think it's too close to the town square for my liking, but a lot of people are going to want to buy a home in here if that's true. People want to be so close to the town square. I just don't understand why they want to be so close. But something tells me that this area, these designer homes, they're going to be super hot. Even 10 years from now, when you want to resell it, I even think these homes and lots in Lakeview are going to be super hot. People are going to want to live here because they want to live so close to the town square. And a lot of them, after they move in, they say, oh, it's too noisy, it's too this, too much traffic. People are using my neighborhood as a cut through to get to the town square. They realize that maybe living that close might not be the best. So be aware of that. Make sure if you're buying in these neighborhoods very close to the town square, make sure you know and look at the maps. Is your neighborhood going to be used as a cut through? Because villagers are going to take the path of least resistance to get to that town square, and they're going to be cutting through neighborhoods. And you don't want to live in one of those neighborhoods where they're cutting through, because you're going to hear golf carts day and night. You're going to hear people breaking down in front of your home. You're going to hear drunk people arguing on the streets. So make sure you're not buying on a cut-through path to the town square. And that's hard to predict by looking at this map that's not even filled in yet. That's why I suggest and recommend you go there yourself, boots on the ground, you look around. It's another reason why I'm holding off on buying in the South. I'm just not familiar enough with it. I want to hear some feedback from people who have lived there for a couple of years. And then after that, I will decide where and what neighborhood is the best place to live. Because right now, you're taking a chance. Wherever you buy in here, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know the level of the music, the noise. You're not going to know where the cut-through paths are. So you're kind of rolling the dice. And when I'm spending $500,000 on a home, I really don't want to roll the dice. So that's why I'm holding off. But I think it's going to be an awesome area to live. I just don't know where to live yet. Frank is a good guy. Yes, I do watch his videos occasionally. Alex Avenue. Yes, it's not even on the map. I was the second street. So they're courtyard villas, and they're going to be commingled with garden villas, which is also in the courtyard villa series of home. So if you look at garden villa homes in the villages, you will see that they're going to be, I don't want AI mode. I don't want AI mode, so close that tab out. But they're going to be garden villas mixed in with courtyard villas, because they're both in the same series of home. They're both courtyard villas. So you're going to have veranda homes opening up here in Edenfield Verandas North. They put this on the map. These are veranda homes. They're going to be located really close to the St. Tropez Rec Center. So stay tuned, friends. You're going to see dots appear on the map in this area shortly. I'm surprised they're not there already. generally speaking, when the Villages puts a neighborhood on the map, because this used to be just a green patch like this, when they make the neighborhood and they put the streets in and they put the lot lines in, usually within a day, you're going to see homes for sale. It's been a couple of days since this neighborhood has been identified, and they have it on the map, but there's no homes for sale. And if you go to the Villages YouTube, they will usually release a YouTube video about it. So let's see. So the last video they released was 2 days ago, introducing the village of Lake View. So Lake View. You let me know, is anyone interested in living in Lake View? I think the homes are going to hold their value there simply because they're so close to the town square and everybody wants to live so close to the town square. But I don't know. So there is no video about the Edenfield Veranda Homes North neighborhood. When they release that video, then usually the next day is when the dots will appear on the map. That's what I've been finding. So usually when they put the neighborhood on the map is when they release a video. And then the very next day, the dots appear on the map showing homes for sale. That's traditionally what they've been doing, at least in the last 1 year or so that I've been making these videos. So this is interesting that they put the neighborhood on the map, and it's been a couple of days now. There's no video, there's no dots. I think that's also a sign to me that home sales are slow. I think home sales are slow, people. Look at all these designer homes in Edenfield. There are a lot of them for sale. Look at all the designer homes in Oak Hollow. These homes are in, I think, in a great location. Lots of them, lots of inventory, lots of inventory. Home sales are slow. What is going on in the Villages, people? I talk to some people and they say, oh, the home sales are really fast. And then I talk to other people, or actually when I look at the map, I don't see it on the map. People are telling me that home sales are really good, really fast. And when I'm looking at the map, and I'm looking at this map every day, I'm making a video every day, I'm not seeing a lot of these dots disappear. These homes in Eden, these homes in Oak Hollow, I think they're in great locations. I would expect those homes to be sold. Veranda homes. Look at all the veranda homes. One of the most popular series homes in the Villages. There's a ton of them still for sale. Oak Hollow. That's why they're not releasing these Edenfield homes. They're trying to wait for the Oak Hollow veranda homes to sell. And then you have veranda homes here. These are also veranda homes in Edenfield. Lots of them for sale. That's why they're not releasing these veranda homes up here. I think the sales are slow based on the dots. Either that or the Villages is just not updating the map in terms of homes sold. But you have a lot of homes for sale in the southern part of the Villages. Let me know your thoughts. Are home sales slow? They're discounting homes right and left here. If I'm looking for a discounted designer home, I'm possibly looking at this Dove C, that Kingfisher C. I might be looking at this Kingfisher C here. I probably would be looking at, actually I would wait I would wait a few more weeks, and then you're going to see more of these homes here get discounted. Is this one discounted yet? No. I'm expecting that one to be discounted soon too. But I think shortly in the next few weeks, you're going to see these homes in here get discounted. They're not in a bad location either, I don't think. But there's a ton of homes for sale. There's a ton of veranda homes for sale. That's why they're not releasing Edenfield Verandas North. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Craig and Nicole. Hello, hello, J-Lo. Hello. I must be a weirdo that doesn't care about living near a town square. Yeah, you're probably one of the only villagers in the world, Becky, that doesn't want to live right on top of a town square. They all want to live on top of the town square. They all do. And it's evidenced by your home values retain their value the closer you are to a town square. It's just the way it is. And it's really the truth. You can talk to any real estate agent. I think Ira is absolutely correct. Based on the map that I see, home sales are slow. Look at all the dots. Look for yourself. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. The home sales are slow. And you got homes in very desirable locations that are not selling. You have homes with retention walls behind them that are not selling. You have homes with privacy walls not selling. You have veranda homes not selling. Generally speaking, courtyard villas and veranda homes sell faster than anything else. I think the number one series home, in my opinion, would probably be veranda homes. They probably sell the quickest because most people have pets and they want that privacy wall. So they stay away from designer homes. That's why courtyard villas in the past, 20 years ago, courtyard villas sold like popcorn in a movie theater. But now you can see veranda homes not selling. Yeah, I would agree with Ira. Based on the map that I see, sales are slow. I certainly do not want to live too close in town square. Be too close. It's just that. Yes. Turn. Yeah. Usually the Villages is really good at keeping the map up to date. And if you see the map looking like this, that means they're not selling homes fast enough. Well, these villagers, they come to the villages to retire, and it's the Disneyland of retirement communities. People come down and they get on their golf carts and they go to the town squares at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They set up their lawn chairs at the town square every day. They love the town square. They live and breathe the town square in the villages. Me too, Becky. Actually, you want both. You want to be within 10 minutes golf cart ride of a town square, and preferably within 10-minute golf cart ride of a grocery store. That's why I picked where I'm living now. I am both. So our home on Hancock is 12 minutes from Magnolia Plaza by golf cart, and we are quite a ways out there. Really not an issue. Yeah. Well, you're probably one of the few, Craig, that's not an issue for. Most people like me, I looked at buying a new home at Hammock and Fenny, and I decided it's just too far out there. And there's just not enough shopping. You're going to find a lot of people think that way too. And then you're going to find that a lot of people don't think that way. Sir barks a lot. Yeah, Sir Barks a Lot needs privacy, you know. And that's why people like courtyard villas and veranda homes. But I'm telling you, just be aware. When I made my video a month ago about just be aware if you don't have pets, just be aware about buying a home in a courtyard villa or veranda home neighborhood, because you're going to be hearing pets. When I'm doing open home tour videos, or when I used to do them, I would go into courtyard villa neighborhoods, and 9 times out of 10, there were barking dogs that prevented me from doing the video, because I did not want to shoot a video with a dog barking. There are a lot of pets in courtyard villa neighborhoods and veranda home neighborhoods. So if you are sensitive to pets at all, like me, you stay away from courtyard villa neighborhoods and veranda home neighborhoods. I would love to buy a home in a courtyard villa neighborhood. I would love the privacy walls, but I'm not gonna. Way too many pets for me. That's just how I am. And I know there are other people like that. I've spoken to them. But then there's a lot of other people that don't care. So for me, courtyard villa and veranda homes are pretty much off the table because of the pets. And I've done a lot of videos, and I've heard a lot of dogs barking in courtyard villa neighborhoods. Do a video on barking. Well, that wouldn't take me too long. All I'd have to do is, when I get back to the villages, just turn my camera on, and you just hear them and see them all the time. It seems like every villager has one or at least 2 dogs. Yeah, I agree. The landmines, and there isn't a week that goes by where I don't wake up and there's a doggy landmine on my yard, because people walk their dogs and they let it go on everybody else's yard. Most of the time they do pick up, most of the time, but there are times where they don't. And I just don't want to pick up after somebody else's pet. I don't want to hear somebody else's pet. But in a courtyard villa neighborhood, when I'm doing videos, almost all the time there's some kind of a pet, either next door or 2 doors down. When they hear the car or the golf car drive up and I park it, I get out and I'm putting my camera equipment together, bark, 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 and they will bark the entire video. Sometimes it took me 2 hours to make a video because I wanted to wait for the dog to stop barking. Because if I make a video with a dog barking, nobody will want to buy that home. So that's why it's hard for me to do videos in courtyard villa neighborhoods, because there's always a dog barking. Yeah. Yeah, well, get used to it. If you live in a courtyard villa neighborhood or veranda home neighborhood, get used to it. I did already. And I confronted the woman already. I know who it is. She pretty much just thumbed her nose at me. Not her problem. Get used to it in the villages, people. I'm just telling you, be prepared. Oh, no worries, Sam. Okay. Sam Propane is my boots on the ground guy. Thank you for the information you sent to me, Sam. I already made a correction to the cottage home neighborhood in LaGrange. It's going to be the very first and unique cottage home neighborhood that I know of that's going to have retention pond views. That is a very new concept, new neighborhood design for the villages, to have cottage homes with retention pond views here in the village of LaGrange. These are going to be cottage homes. According to my reporter boots on the ground right there, I've never seen a cottage home neighborhood with retention pond views in my life. These homes are going to sell super fast. I guarantee you that. But the villages will not put them on the market until they sell all these other homes up in here. Sam did explain for us. Sam is our guy. No one is more. Yeah, Sam is. Yeah, he is the official news reporter of the Streams of Dreams channel. We've just anointed Sam as official reporter. Doesn't pay, Becky. It just doesn't pay. Some people just don't care. All wood framed homes. Yeah, you're going to have designer homes on the perimeter on the perimeter of the neighborhood. I would expect designer homes to be on the perimeter, and then in the interior, you're going to have some other series of home. At least that's how they've designed them in the past. Thank you, Sam. I heard everybody's lawn is used as a doggy toilet. Everybody's lawn is used as a doggy toilet. But if you live on a corner, chances are the probabilities are higher that they're going to use your lawn. The problem I have is once a dog does their thing on your lawn, it leaves a scent, and then other dogs, when they're walking, will smell the scent, and then they will leave their thing on the same spot. And then another dog after that, and then you have the whole neighborhood's dog is now using your yard as the doggy toilet. And I ask my neighbors to be kind, keep your dog off the grass. They won't listen. They don't care. Really, there's designers on the interior? Really? Wow. That is interesting. That certainly is a very unique neighborhood. I don't think she would really care. I have a neighborhood Karen that lives four doors down from me, and pretty much every neighborhood, everybody I talk to has a Karen or one or two Karens or Kens. If it's a man, it's a Ken that lives in your neighborhood. Every neighborhood has one or two Karens and Kens. Every neighborhood. Yeah. People don't care. People with pets don't care. They walk their dogs so their dogs don't relieve themselves on their lawn. So they walk them around the neighborhood day and night. I see them in the middle of the night walking too. They walk their dogs so they can relieve their dogs can relieve themselves on their neighbors' yards. That's what they do. That is interesting. Blended designers and cottages, all frame homes in that section. Really? Wow. Interesting. So that truly is. Well, I think if I think about it, in the north, they had designers and cottage homes commingled in the north, if I remember right. But the difference in the north was they weren't in a neighborhood that was kind of like outlined that looked kind of like a veranda home neighborhood or courtyard villa. No. If you put up the sign, somebody will complain and they'll make you take it down. But I did put up a sign. I actually did put a sign up for a few weeks, but they ignored the sign. Well, you're one of the few people that care, Becky. Yeah, most people do pick up after dog, but there's a few that don't. And And then how do you pick up pee? You know, with pee will tend to kill your lawn. Pee will attract other dogs, and then your yard becomes uh, a doggy uh, a doggy yard for everybody else. So the pets are not the problem. It's the owners that are the problem. They just don't watch the pets, and they have no consideration for their neighbor. The other thing with the dog owner or the pet owners is they go to the local swimming pool and they walk their dogs there. They use that as the dog park. So they walk their dog on the grassy parts around the swimming pool, and then in the summertime it gets 100 degrees. They don't pick up after the dog. I'm sitting on the pool chair, and I'm smelling something that I don't want to smell. So the pools, the local pool area, you'll see a lot of people walking their pets there. And a lot of times they're not picking up after their pet there. Well, then you just get into neighbor wars, and I don't want to get into neighbor wars. Because you're living so close to so many neighbors. It's going to be a challenge, I guarantee. I guarantee you it'll be a challenge. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but everybody likes a corner lot. They hold their value. Those homes on corner lots tend to sell quicker than interior lots. So for resale, people want the corner lot. So it's kind of a pick your poison, right? Oh my God. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the live. I've been live an hour and 7 minutes. I'm going to have some breakfast. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for joining the live, and thank you for being a good reporter. And for those subscribers that have sent me information, I appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Together we will solve the puzzle known as the Villages map. Yeah, they're going to be nice. Block walls in the back. Too much to mow. Yeah, I agree. Well, most people hire a contractor to mow their lawn, and it only costs like $50 or $60 a month to mow. Good night, Sam. You're welcome, Craig. Peace out, everyone. Take care. See you next week.